up, guys? My name is Justin.
And I'm Ashley.
And we are so excited to be doing part 2 of our story, how I met her in China.
In China, yeah. So I think where we ended off in the last video was pretty much the end of our freshman year. We both went back home, had jobs, internships, yada, 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 living life out to the fullest. And so right before our trip, I guess the very end of July, we had a 2-day intensive workshop where we were going to learn,
Like how to buy food.
Yeah, remedial Mandarin,
yeah.
how to survive on the streets of China. And so they taught us how to count, how to say we don't want to buy it, if we've eaten.
I don't know why that was the phrase.
Yeah, Ni Chi Fan Lama. Still remember it. But anyways, we have this, they're taking roll again, making sure we're all there and accounted for, having to stand up and have conversations with our neighbors. Still hasn't registered that I'm a person.
I still didn't meet her or notice her. Or
still technically have not met. And so the first time I think you recognized I was a person, still technically not have met, but you recognized,
I saw you and registered, I saw you for the first time.
That you've never met before was...
In the airport, before we left for China, I was with a friend, and I was like, ooh, I want to catch a picture of us, in the airport, an on guard, off guard. And so I gave my phone to someone else. I was like, hey, take a picture of us.
Yeah, and I was sitting right next to the girl that was going to take the picture. And I was like, how are you going to take an off guard, on guard? You are posing to be off guard.
I literally told the guys, pose, but look like you're not posing. Look at me and, laugh. It's an on guard, off guard.
So I, poked fun. And mind you, I knew who this person was. He was a part of the group. And so it wasn't anything for me to tease him.
It was big for me, though.
Yeah, because he didn't know where I was.
I was like...
I was just talking to, a mutual comrade, acquaintance. And I was just a stranger that was, poking fun.
Yeah, I was like, who is this girl? Who does she think she is?
Yeah.
That was the first time I actually saw you. That's the first time I laid eyes on you and was like, huh, I don't know that person.
Yeah, and so I think that, we actually technically met was actually after that flight. We do our however many hour-long flight to China, and then we get there and we have to go through customs, of course, and this is this long, snaking, almost an hour long, trying to get through customs. And
one of our chaperones took an interest in me and was just laying on really thick, some of the opportunities he wanted me to consider and take advantage of. And I was just taking it in. I was like, I came here to be open. That was my mantra for the whole trip. I'm here to be open. And I was like, whatever he wants to say. It was, mind you, that whole hour-long line. Just
taking all of his advice, all of his guidance. And so every time we pass, I'm noticing, there were other people around the chaperone, and they had talked for a minute, but each time we passed each other, Justin was still, conversing. I was just like, man, he's really kind. And every time I would just look around, I would just, kind of laugh. Because I'm over here with some friends and talking to them, and Justin's each time
getting my ear talked off. And she would look at me and laugh and shake her head, and I was really caught off guard by your smile. That was the first time I noticed your smile, and I was like, dang, her smile is gorgeous. I was like, every time I saw you would be around a corner and I'd be able to see you, I'd be like, I couldn't wait to look over and see you laugh at me and smile and shake your head you're still talking to him. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. That was, I guess, technically the first time it was that's the person, she cute.
Yeah, I did think you were cute. It was your smile. It was like sunshine. I was like, who is, but by then I had caught your name because I would ask other people about you from the airport.
Yeah.
And then when we were, after customs, we get our bags, and that's when you kind of I kind of caught your eye.
Yeah. Throughout the trip, we went to 3 different cities, and we had to go to the airport, get bags and whatnot. And I don't know if I necessarily noticed it the first time, or I noticed it enough to notice the second time that Justin was always helping with the bags. And Justin was there, big a gentleman, every single time, faithfully, just getting off bags. If this somebody's okay, looking for the tags that we had. And so that's what kind of caught my eye, because that servant's heart type of thing.
Oh,
that was what caught my eye. Because again, I knew who you were, but I hadn't really talked to you much, obviously. So to see that kind of foundation of a servant's heart and servant's attitude was just okay, I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
I'll take it.
So we got there, got hotels, started doing some of the touristy stuff, And I think
the Pearl Factory.
Yeah, you said, you know, when we were prepping, we found out that he must have actually like positively caught my eye by day 2, technically.
Day 1 of being there full time. Like we landed the next day.
Well, okay, but I got your eye the first day.
I'm not saying that ain't
It's
true.
not a competition. Anyway, if you answered our question, are we gonna?
Yeah.
If you answered our question, Justin technically liked me first.
I technically liked her first,
but it didn't take me long to follow.
No.
We were at the Pearl Factory, and I heard him saying that he was like looking for stuff for like his mom and his sister and his grandmother and stuff. And I was just like, oh, what about me? And I was like, wait, hold up. Homeboy don't even know me like that. He ain't gonna get me anything. But I think like between past experiences and just being slightly interested, I was like, oh, to get me something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So in Beijing, we took the only picture that was just the 2 of us at the Temple of Heaven. By this point, maybe it was like day 2 or 3, I was already having people come up to me and like pick at me about like liking Ashley, and I kept like, I don't know her. I just met her. That was like, I kept saying I want a picture with her, but I don't want to make it awkward and obvious that like I'm really like starting to like this girl. Mm-hmm. And I remember like asking you if we could take a picture in front of the Temple of Heaven. Oh, what happened with that picture?
I was just like,
this is the picture that we took, so we'll show you here.
Yeah, that was the picture we took. And you always felt like I did not want to touch you, but it wasn't you. It was other people. And so
I was like, you know, like when you get those little Christian side hugs where it's like they don't even like lean in, like this. It's like, hey neighbor. I felt like that. I was like, okay. I wasn't trying to get nothing any crazy, but you were just like the hand don't even barely touch you. The hand be like that. And I was like, okay, great. But I was happy to have that picture, and
yeah, I'll give you pictures.
I actually didn't even like the picture. I was so hurt that because it looked so awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah, it isn't.
But it grew on me because there's such a story behind it.
Yeah,
I like it now. So in the airport, leaving Beijing, going to Xi'an, like she and I, you know, got our backpacks and we're walking around and we're like in the airport getting like ready to board. We're excited. We're just chopping it up. Another chaperone saw us walking together and he called your name. He's like, oh, Ashley.
He was like, do you have a boyfriend? And I had just been working at this amazing Christian sports camp called Kids Across America. And so he said, do you have a boyfriend? And me, I'm like, yeah, of course I do.
And my face dropped.
I wasn't looking at him.
I literally walked away. We were walking next to each other. He called her name. She kind of like turned around and fell back. It's like a centimeter. Wasn't even much. And she goes, yeah. And I go, I walk completely off. I don't want to, because at that point you had shown like interest in me. Like we were getting to know each other.
Yes.
And in my mind, I was like, I know she's really Christian. I know she's like really, really sweet, and like I didn't think that you would show me that kind of attention if you were with someone.
Yes, that's
and
true.
So I was really confused, and I was just like, I can't deal with this. She has a boyfriend. I really liked her, so I walked off.
Yeah, and I was trying to make a joke, and the guy didn't even let me make a joke. He was just like, oh, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, Justin over here is going to be really successful, and you should, see about that. And I didn't get to finish my joke. That I was dating Jesus, and so he's over here all butthurt, thinking that I'm actually thinking that I'm taken, and that I'm giving him play, and I don't know. You held on to that for a while.
Okay, I did. Honest, so like that whole
the rest of that day.
The rest of that day, I was like not. I actually avoided her.
You did?
I avoided her to the point where we did this bike ride on the city wall of Xi'an. And it was everybody just out there having fun. And I was like, I saw where she was and I would go the opposite direction. Because I didn't want to have my heart hurt. I really liked her. And she said she had a boyfriend. And I was like, of course she has a boyfriend. She's just being nice to you because she's a good person. And I was like so confused. But yeah, I avoided you. That night I had to talk with Jesus. And he was like, listen, son. You need to get over this. And I was like, I know. And I kept saying in my heart, I have to at the very minimum, like, be her friend. Like, I wanted to get to know you more. And even if it meant I could only do it as your friend, I had to be your friend. I beat that in. Well, Jesus beat it into me all night. And the next day was Terracotta Warrior. So before we actually went through the museum, there was a gift shop.
Oh, yes.
And it was like full of like jade and like little
jade,
like terracotta warrior stuff. And I was like, I want to buy her something. And mind you, this is what, maybe day 4.
He still thinks I got a boyfriend.
This is day 4. I think she has a boyfriend, and I just got over myself to at least be her friend. And I was like, friends buy friends gifts, right? Like is this a normal thing? Is it? So I was like, I want to buy her something. No, I need to buy her something. I am meant to buy her something. I'm gonna buy her something. And then I was like, buy her what? I was like, it can't be a ring. That's too much. A bracelet. That's innocent. A ring. Friendship bracelets are a normal thing. A ring would be too much. You know, a necklace would be kind of intimate, but a bracelet. So I was looking at the little stuff, and you were near, and I was like, hey, Ashley, which one do you think a girl would like?
Yeah.
Like, you probably thought it was for my sister.
I thought it was for your sister, and I was just like, look, just buying more stuff for the woman in his life. What about me? And so I picked up one. I was like, oh yeah, I like that one.
And we'll put a picture of it up here. I actually bought that bracelet, and I kept it, and I gave it to her a long time later. She had no clue I bought it. I gave it to her for a special occasion, way later.
But yeah, so that was really sweet. I guess we were hanging out with our roommates most of the time, going through the museum, and somehow we got separated.
And I made sure to stay next to you, though. Yeah,
you stayed with me. I don't know what happened. We got separated. I don't know if they were scheming at that point, which possibly could have been, but it could have been why that happened. But we ended up walking around, and he was just cracking jokes. And I really wanted someone who was funny when it came to like my dream guy. And so the fact that he was just so open, and I knew that he was a servant, and that he was funny, I was just like, okay, I like it. And so we just went through the day kind of just hanging out and being able to have quality time and get to know each other, which was really good.
So after the museum, we went to lunch. She told, what'd you tell me? Tell me what you told me. What'd you tell her?
I had to go use the restroom. I was like, hey, save me a seat next to you.
I about fell out. Boy, I was like, listen. I was so bugged. I literally was like humming. I was like, I don't know who her boyfriend is, but look, I'm trying to stay Christian and not be, causing issues, but she said, hey, save me a seat next to you. And she probably said it that innocent and sweet, but that meant so much to me because that kind of confirmed my confusion. That you were showing me play. Like you were giving me some play, but it was like, so I was confused. And I think it was that night that when we went home, I told my roommate, I like this girl.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do about it because I heard from her own mouth that she has a boyfriend. At this point, a lot of people even earlier than this, a lot of people had noticed some chemistry between us that we didn't even notice. And people were coming up to me and going, hey, what's going on with you and Ashley? Or like, so talk to me. Hey, look, when's the wedding? That's all I'm asking. And I was like, I just met her. This was even before I thought she had a boyfriend. When I had met her a day ago, they were like coming up to me and I was like, I just met her.
We got to our last city, Shanghai, and I think the first day it was just jam-packed with stuff. We were going to the mall, we were going to an acrobat show, we had to go get food. It was just a lot.
The acrobat show.
Yeah,
no, but I think
the mall. Yeah,
so this is outdoor shopping area.
Yeah. What they had told us while getting off was like, hey, there's a bank right over here. You could go and get some cash if you need, and whatever. So me and my roommate went to go to the bank. I needed some cash.
And the rest of the group, pretty much everyone went to this giant Nike store. It was like four. It was like four. It was huge.
Okay, it was huge.
It was like a 4-story Nike store.
So y'all were probably still in there, but we were like, okay, we'll just go walking. And so 30-40 minutes later, we're supposed to go get food. We went to a KFC. They have a lot of KFCs. You popped up.
Okay, so let me pick up from there. So that was her side.
My side.
So I'm in the Nike store. It's 4 stories. I'm separated, and it when she first gonna go to the bank. By this point, I really liked her, and I was watching out for her. I was trying to make sure she was okay. So she went to the bank. It was cool. It was nothing. But a group of people came back from the bank, and I guess it wasn't the group you were in. Yeah. And by that point, it was 4 stories at Nike store. People were getting separated, and I was getting nervous about myself getting lost. So I was like, okay, I need to stick with a big enough group that I know where the bus is after all this, because I really don't know where I am. A group comes back from the bank, and I'm like, yes, great. Wait a minute, she's not in the group. You weren't in the group that came back from the bank, but the group that I was with was leaving the Nike store. And my roommate and I were looking at each other because we were looking for you and your roommate, and we were like, oh my gosh. And we just like, well, we can't wait for them. We like looked and y'all weren't by the bank. And so we were like, I guess we're going to have to catch up with her later. And I was getting more and more anxious with every minute. And I was like, I need to find her. I need to find her. I didn't think anything was wrong with you. I needed to find you. So we like, don't even really shop that. And we were both kind of like, we had saved money for specific things. We didn't come to shop in American stores. So we like looked a little bit in H&M and when we didn't see you. And we both got tired and went to sit on these steps. And we saw one of the other people in our group was eating some KFC. And we were like, ooh, we do need to eat lunch before we go because this is lunch. And we're like, where's the KFC? Like, oh, it's right there. So we go in the KFC. And I get in line. Who should be two people in front of me but Ashley Renee? And what did you do?
I saw you and I was looking around. I was like, oh, hey, where you been at, stranger?
When I tell you a cool wave of peace washed over me like never before, I couldn't believe it. I about melted right there. I was like, I was just singing on the inside. And you were like just looking at me being sassy, where you been? And I was like, where have you been? And I ordered everybody ice cream. I was like we're celebrating. Like I am so happy. I'm buying everybody ice cream. We went outside and we were sitting on the step. And we took that picture.
Yeah, we'll post it in here.
Yeah, that was like one of the only pictures we got together in China.
Yeah, I think we only got two.
We only got two.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there, and I was just thinking to myself, and I don't know if I told you by that point, but I was sitting there thinking, I'm not meant to be that far from her ever again. Like I'm not meant to be away from her like that ever again. I remember this old man walked by and was like asking for money, and I was like, take it. I just had an encounter with God. Like you can have whatever you want. And I think that you kind of noticed that.
I noticed how generous you were. You were checking off all of the spiritual boxes I needed you to have.
Well, that was nice. So by then, I was smitten.
Last city,
we're in Shanghai. And by then, we were just hanging out. It didn't even matter. We went to visit the school. And we got matched with a student who was really fluent in English. And probably knew better than me, honestly. And we got to like tour the school and they told us about the program. And we like, it was a cultural exchange. Mm-hmm. And I was with this young woman named Wendy. Mm-hmm. And I was telling her, like, she was like telling her about the United States and Obama, and I was asking her about like things going on in China, and she asked me, "Do you have someone special?" And I think I probably blushed, and I was like, "Well, I think I just met someone. She's really special." And I told her like, "Oh, she's so smart. She's a double major in economics and math. Like that is hard." And she was impressed too, and I was like, "She's." Like her smile is so beautiful, and I told her she's from Dallas, Texas, and she wanted to know more about Texas, and I was like, yeah, I think she's really special. You walked by at one point, and you were like, hey, you like super bubbly stuff, like waved at us, and I was like, Wendy, that's her, Wendy. I confessed my love.
You did to someone across the world.
I mean, not love,
No, you said it.
Well, just the last thing is when
just
we were leaving.
Plane.
Yeah. So then we get on the plane and we're kind of seated in alphabetical order. And my last name is not near her last name. Yeah. So I was like, I gotta get her next to me. Hey, you're friends with such and such. I can get you next to them. Let me do that. Hey, you're friends with such and such. I can get you next to them. And then I got a seat open. So I put someone else in your seat and then someone else in their seat and then you in the seat that was next to me. But yeah, the friend who took the on guard off guard, she looked at me and she was like, do you like her? And I was like, go to sleep. We like listened to music and we watched a movie and
you tried to keep on making me go back to sleep and I was trying to like stay awake to talk to him and he would keep on like putting the pillow. And I'm just like, I'm trying to stay awake. Like, why are you making me go to sleep?
I was trying to take care of her. I thought, like, it's like she's probably exhausted. She probably is, like, trying to stay awake for my sake. Here, have a pillow and go to sleep. At one point, it came up on the flight. And I was like, oh, I got to make sure, like, I get her phone number before we get home. So, yeah, I put my number in your phone. And then we landed. And that's
when our relationship really took off.
That's when things took off.
We took off. Get it? So we hope that you enjoyed this and that you kind of enjoyed listening to us. I'm sure a few people actually were there with us that were watching this.
Comment what you thought when you saw us peeking in over the trip.
Yeah. It'd be just great to know. I know this one was a little bit long, but that was like what normally takes a relationship maybe a few months to get started was condensed into a 10-day period.
Like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think about how we met in this part of our story. And stay tuned for part 3, which is how she became my girlfriend, or how I asked her to be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and keep living out in faith.
And not fear.
What we got if we don't got? And everybody's searching for, and everybody need that.
He was telling me that he was in choir and that he was a bass. And I was like, you can't be a bass. Your voice isn't deep enough to be a bass. And we're here surrounded by all these people.
And I think I went like, nah, I am a bass.
Something like that. And I was just like, the fact that he could just let his guard go so much, I was like, yeah, I like that.